Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I'm pretty tired. Listen, I was in Liverpool. I drove back. I tried uploading all the fan cams. Oh, what a nightmare! What an absolute nightmare! Um, oh God, I'm going to get into it, but I had a lot of issues. Last night in terms of. I mean, there wasn't big issues in terms of getting home, but the fan cams, the sound quality is just not. It's just not there. So it's really, really annoying. So I've got all these interviews that I did at Liverpool, and can't do them, can't upload them because the microphone didn't work. It was not switched on properly, or whatever it was. There was an issue with the microphone. So yeah, sorry about that. And to prove my point, I will show you briefly to show you I'm not lying. Yeah, we've got a lot of interviews that we did. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, apologies for that. The sound quality is just not there. I'll show you one, right? I'll just show you one briefly because why not? This was Jacob and Matt Dav. Just listen to the sound quality and like I'll be totally honest with you. Yeah, it's just not great. I couldn't upload this. I'll be totally honest. I'll be honest. I can't hear anything. It's really difficult to hear it. So I decided not to upload it. So apologies for that. Oh, you can't even see the screen. Oh, you can't even see it. Sorry, guys. I didn't switch it over. Let me do that now. I'm still getting used to this whole StreamYard thing. Look here. This is it.
We might have had the ball more, but when they had the ball, they done a lot more with it. It's one of them games. Like, look at the aggression from last year. Batting 4-1. This year, I said to Kev at half time.
So the sound quality is just not good enough, which is annoying. But there you go. There you go. It won't happen again. Hopefully, we can just get to. Maybe I just need to pay someone. Because in fairness, we didn't pay a camera guy. We just had my girlfriend Rachel recording. But that's all good. Big up to Father. I hope you're doing well, mate. Don't worry about it. I know there's a big issue with a lot of the travel when going to Liverpool. So I appreciate that you just had to get home. Can anyone explain where Liverpool's 5 shot on targets came from? Well, we can go into it. You sound good. I don't know if you're talking about me now because I'm really tired, or if you're talking about the sound on the fan cams. I mean, listen, the sound is all right, but I'd rather have better videos up, guys, if I'm totally honest with you. If I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to upload it. And our fan cams are usually really good quality, so it just didn't feel right uploading it. There's other videos which aren't as good as that, because Matt and Jacob speak quite loud. There's videos you can't hear anything. But the idea behind this show is to have an instantaneous reaction. I literally wake up, make a cup of tea, and we're going to dive into this game. We're going to talk about what happened when we were there. Obviously, I was at Anfield. I'm sure some of you that are watching might have even been at Anfield as well. And what went wrong? Did anything go wrong? Were Liverpool just too good for us? So this is yeah. I mean, I look at this result And honestly, my initial feeling when we lost this game, first of all, I was really, really annoyed because the referee blew the whistle too early. I mean, we still had the ball just outside Liverpool's box, and then he decided to blow the whistle. I thought to myself, hang on a second, ref. But yeah, I mean, the refereeing decisions, we can talk about that as well. Absolutely just strange. I didn't really understand it. I did watch some of the replays, and in fairness, that gave a little bit more clarity, a little bit more context. But when I was doing the preview originally, I was saying to myself, hang on a second. Who's going to be refereeing this game? Is it Anthony Taylor? The answer was no. Michael Oliver? No. All right, who's the referee? Let's look up his name. I can't remember his name. Referee Liverpool versus Chelsea. Who was it? Who was the bloody ref? John Brooks. He is rubbish. He is crap. John, why you say celebrate? Oh, at least we haven't got Anthony Taylor. John Brooks is rubbish. They're all rubbish. They're crap. My voice is gone because I was screaming so much at the game. Rightly so. I mean, if you weren't screaming, I don't know what you were watching. It was very entertaining, but also very frustrating at times as well. The referee didn't do us any favours. Anfield's never an easy place to go. So, yeah, I want to break down the whole game. We're going to go through what we saw. I'm going to show you one or two clips as well, which you may have already seen. And we're going to go through what people were saying outside the grounds in the fan cams. And, yeah, just break it down as much as we can. So, listen, if you want to interact in the chat, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And in the afternoon around lunchtime, we'll have more of a call-in show where people can actually come and speak and give their opinion as well. So that is the new theme that we're going to try and go with. But, yeah, I mean, let's just start from the trip to Liverpool. Now, I don't live anywhere near Liverpool. I live about 4 hours away. The trains just finished. Absolutely ridiculous with the trains. If I go on Trainline, I could probably show you this as well. I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on Trainline. Let's have a look. Right now, those of you who don't live in the UK, you might have more of an idea of what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, Trainline. From where do I live? I live near Reading. All right, let's just say Reading. Okay, Reading to Liverpool Lime Street. Yeah. Oh, they don't do the trains like that. Let's just say I wanted a return. Yeah. What's the latest return that I could get? What's the latest? And also look at the costs of these tickets as well. It's ridiculous. They are literally trying to bank rob us in our own country. £236 to get back from Liverpool. So this was what created a big problem for a lot of Chelsea fans. Was actually being able to get back home, not get to Liverpool, but get back home. So I ended up driving. That's the long and the short of it, because if you got a train back at 8:20, you got back at 1:15, which just it's not really great, is it? Let's be honest. So yeah, I ended up driving. I wasn't driving. I was a passenger. There was 4 of us in the car: me, Charlie, and Dharmesh, and Rachel. Big up to Dharmesh, who was the driver, the designated driver. It's never easy driving, is it? Because then you can't really drink, and obviously you can't sleep on the way home. Otherwise, we're all going to die in the car. But it was a pretty good trip. It was decent. We got picked up And then about an hour into the trip, Darmesh left his ticket. He left his ticket at home. So we had to turn around. We had to go back to, where does he live? We had to go back to Hounslow, which was a little bit annoying, but we weren't running late, so it was fine. So we had an extra 2 hours in the car. So I don't know how long the trip was in the end, but it was close to 6 hours, maybe 5.5 hours. So it was a really long drive. And we got into Liverpool. I was meant to meet up with someone, but it was just running a little bit late by that point. We had about 25 minutes until kickoff, so we went straight into the stadium. Now, usually Liverpool are a little bit stricter with regards to the microphones, everything like that. But we managed to get in, no issues, no problems. So that was absolutely fine. I went in, we went into the stadium. They were playing You'll Never Walk Alone. Actually, I will say that it was quite a disappointing reaction from the Chelsea fans to You Never Walk Alone, because personally, if I'm going to Liverpool, these are people that boo our national anthem. Liverpool fans boo their own national anthem. I don't want to listen to You'll Never Walk Alone. I want to boo that because I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think it's crazy. And I don't think you go to Liverpool and sit there respectfully. No, we will walk alone. We're Chelsea. But yeah, we didn't really make that much noise when they were doing their anthem. And I mean, if I was to summarize the away end as a whole, it was actually not great, to be totally honest. I think the home atmosphere was better than the away atmosphere. And that always says something. But also, it was one of the better atmospheres I've seen at Anfield. The Cop End were making a lot of noise, and they have a lot of standing sections except for that particular area. I mean, at Chelsea, can you imagine Matthew Harding Upper making any noise? It's always the lower sections because everyone stands up, and in the upper sections, people sit down. But at Liverpool, everyone's making noise all around the stadium, east, west, the Cop, behind the away section as well. If you looked up, you could see, you could hear it. And yeah, I think, yeah, it was a good atmosphere from Liverpool. So you've got to give them that. But I did think that the away fans were quite disappointing. Daniel says we are on 13 likes. There are, I can see 44 of you at the moment. So can we try and get up to 40 likes, guys? So please like the video if you can. It does help massively. Smash the like button. Let me know what you think about the game as well. I will be going through your comments. Come on, people. Let's get it up there. Big up to Daniel. So, yeah, I mean, the away atmosphere from a Chelsea perspective, I've seen much better. But I was impressed with what I saw at Anfield. I thought the Liverpool fans did a decent job of creating an atmosphere. There were times where it was quite quiet, and we had a relatively decent start at the beginning of the game. I mean, I'm talking the first 15 minutes or something. I felt like actually maybe Liverpool had one or two shots, but we were absolutely in this, and I felt like we were almost in control, which at Anfield I didn't expect. I expected us to sit a little bit deeper, look to counter-attack. It was totally the opposite. We were slightly deeper. You could probably say that, but we were looking to play. We were looking to play out, take risks with our goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez had one or two moments where I thought, oh my God. And we didn't concede, but we definitely could have conceded. And yeah, the approach was certainly not pragmatic. Let's put it like that. Enzo Maresca came out to play. And if he's going to play at Anfield, I think he's going to play everywhere, which is an encouraging sign. But also, we could have some very tough days away from home if we can't defend. And especially if we can't score goals on top of that. I mean, we have a lot of attacking threats, and Liverpool was certainly aware to that. They did not go with that classic sort of approach in terms of pressing from the front, gegenpressing as well, looking to sit a little bit deeper, give us more time on the ball. They must have watched the Brighton game, because when a team presses hard, we've got players who can just put those balls in behind, and players can run onto it, whether it's Palmer, Jackson, Sancho. All of these players can link up very nicely, although there was no Enzo Fernandez. We're going to talk about him as well. And it was an intelligent and smart display by Liverpool. One of the things that I always found under Jurgen Klopp when Liverpool were playing was they didn't always play well, but they just did what they needed to do well. And it was not like a team that parks the bus, right? Because I'm not saying they sit deep and they just wait for their chance. It's like every time they get the ball, they're just going for it straight away. They don't keep the ball for the sake of keeping the ball. Not like Man City with Guardiola, for example. Totally different when you go to Anfield. Liverpool, a little bit more direct. Not as direct under Slot as they were under Klopp, but they are still very direct. And they've got the playing, they've got the style that they've inherited as well. Obviously, a few tweaks from the new manager. Yes, Cucurella was suspended. So I thought we'd see Veiga, to be honest with you, at left back. I didn't think we were going to see Gusto. I certainly didn't think we were going to see Reece James. My God. I mean, who expected that? Who expected to see Reece James starting at Anfield? How many days was it since he started his last game? Almost a year. It was over 300 days. I mean, let's go over the starting 11 as well, because to be honest with you, that was a massive talking point in itself. And I would love to know who thinks that was a factor on whether we lost the game. Do you think we would have actually got the result if we would have done something different? Or is it just a case of, listen, you win some, you lose some, Liverpool with a better team, it is what it is? Sometimes it is that black and white in football, in my opinion. But also you've got to try and you've got to break it down, haven't you? You've got to break it down and look at it from all different sides. I mean, if we look statistically, we had 58% possession to their 42. 2 shots for us, 5 for them, 6 off target, 3 for them, 2 big chances for us, 1 for them, 4 blocks for us, 1 for them. Our passing accuracy was better. We were slightly less direct, so that makes sense. And we accumulated more passes as well, which makes sense. Yeah, this is a great way. I mean, this is actually the history of when I remember watching a lot of these Chelsea-Liverpool games under Klopp as well. I don't think it changed massively. We dominate possession quite a lot against Liverpool, I've always found. And it's just a case of taking your chances when they come. Yes, we had more shots on target. The same in total. We created 2 big chances, but ultimately you've got to take those chances. And as well, you've got to look at the defensive side of things. I do think that Tosin was a player that let us down. I'm not happy to say it because I love Tosin. I've been campaigning for Tosin. I know that. I can hold my hands up, but he didn't have a great game, did he? He didn't have a great game. And for me, when Enzo Maresca was there on the sideline, I don't know if you could see it on the telly if you were watching, I saw him shouting at Tosin throughout the match when he was there. And he was basically saying to him, you could see quite clearly, he was going, you're standing in the wrong place. He was going, you're here, go here. And then Tosin would budge over a little bit. So that was one factor. Obviously, the yellow card probably didn't help. Maybe that was another reason why Tosin came off, because of the yellow card, although I'm not 100% sure. And we were just passing the ball a little bit too slow. Let's be honest, we were passing the ball too slow with Tosin. I think that he's never really had a terrible game for Chelsea. I mean, Cvette away, everyone had a poor game, so it was difficult to just blame it on one player. But apart from that, I've always seen Tosin and said to myself, right, this is a player that I can rely on. I like this guy. He takes care of business. And he stays fit, which is another reason why I've always liked Tosin, because I don't understand why you'd build a team around players who have never proven themselves at this level consistently. Reece James, yes, he's always injured, but when he was fit for 2 seasons or whatever it was, he did become the best right back in the world. And you can't argue against that because of how good he was. Not just defensively, he got so many assists, whipping balls in the box. On top of that, he scored goals, a goal-scoring wing back. He could play in a back three, he could play in a back four. He's versatile. Under Enzo Maresca as well, you look at a player like that, be interesting to see if he does invert in the future. That could potentially be a possibility, so we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, a lot of things that we can look at and try and break down, and we will. And I want to know what you guys think in the chat as well. I want to know where your head's at regarding this match. Is it something that we just need to almost brush under the carpet, or is this not good enough? 1 win in 9 against Liverpool. So where do you stand on this? Right. Let's have a look at this. Let's see if can I zoom in? All right. Let's zoom in on this. So let's start off with Robert Sanchez. What do we think about this guy, honestly? Deals thinks James is just coming back and he's getting into it. Gusto looked uncomfortable inverting. Badiashile looked good when he came on. He did. Yeah. I was very impressed with Badiashile. I did not expect I didn't expect him to be that good. He was really good. Colwill is overrated according to Q. He's slow and has the same Sanchez bozo moments. Sanchez and Colwill and Schoolboy sleeping at the second goal costed us the game. Lavia, Caicedo, Neto was our best players on the pitch trying to make things happen. Father, yo, sorry I had to rush out quickly yesterday. I only got to see Dav yesterday and Jacob in the concourse. It was a madness to get out of Liverpool. Listen, I don't know if you were here earlier on, but I was showing people the train tickets. It's so bloody expensive. Like, you can fly to Liverpool cheaper than you can get a train. How many countries work like that? Why would a flight be cheaper than a train? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, big up to you, Father. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we're gonna be going live again around sort of lunchtime, Father. If you want to jump on, it'll be more of a panel show. Let me know. Right, let's start with Robert Sanchez. Here we go. Let's stay on track. People. I think that Robert Sanchez deserves the trust that he's getting from Enzo Maresca. I think he has shown enough good moments to show that he is capable of competing at a very, very high level. However, there is a cap on every player, and some players have a slightly higher ceiling than others. For example, we look just below Reece James and Malo Gusto. 2 players that we both love watching at Chelsea. I think we can all agree Reece James has a higher ceiling than Malo Gusto. And when Reece James is fully fit, playing his best, he's just a better player than Malo Gusto, fully fit, playing his best. That's not a criticism of Malo Gusto. That's actually a compliment to Reece James and how good he can be. Now, when I look at Robert Sanchez, I see a good goalkeeper, but he just has a lot of bozo moments. A lot of moments. Very, very entertaining if you're a neutral fan. However, we are not neutral. We want security in goal. Since we lost Thibaut Courtois at Chelsea, we've had Kepa, we've had Mendy, we've had fucking hell, Sanchez and Petrovic. Have I missed anyone? I don't think so. Now, all of those goalkeepers ultimately haven't performed well enough for us. Yes, Mendy was world class for a season. That's true. But if football was like that for a season, then you'd have a lot of players in different circumstances. You need to be good consistently. Yeah. So Mendy was probably the best, but it wasn't for a long time. Kepa was underwhelming. Sanchez has been very up and down. And I never understood why we got rid of Petrovic. I think that Petrovic was fantastic. I think he was fantastic. And look, you can criticize Pochettino for a lot of things. We can certainly criticize him for Levi Colwill, the way he used him last season. And I'm happy to criticize Poch because you can see differences with Enzo Maresca that Pochettino could have easily done and decided not to do. But one thing Poch did figure out is that Robert Sanchez is a goalkeeper that when things are good, they're great. And when they're not, they are shite. But he didn't cost us in this game. Robert Sanchez didn't cost us, not for me. He could have easily conceded a penalty when he tackled Curtis Jones. He didn't. He did get the ball. That decision got rescinded. He had the chance to save the penalty from Salah, but let's be honest, it's not an easy thing to do. And actually, Sanchez's penalty record with us is pretty good. He saved one at United last season. Obviously helped us out at Bournemouth this season as well. So, yeah, I don't think that Sanchez is a terrible goalkeeper, but I do think that his ceiling is just lower than what it needs to be. He can certainly improve at Chelsea. I think we can see some great games from Robert Sanchez. You could even argue that he's probably good enough for us to get top four, because although he'll cost us points, and we know he will, because he has many times, he's also had games where he saved us. Bournemouth being the prime example this season. And there was a couple of games. In fact, I remember when we lost. Was it when we lost to Man City at the beginning of the season? I know we lost that game, but I think Sanchez was really good as well. Or maybe that was a different one. Let me know if I'm wrong. So, yeah, Robert Sanchez doesn't deserve as much criticism as he's getting, but on the ball, he just lacks that cutting edge. He lacks that. What's the word? When Ederson gets the ball, he just passes it. When Alisson gets the ball, he just gets rid of it. Whether it's short, whether it's long, he knows what to do. It's the same with Arsenal and David Raya. Sanchez just takes that little bit longer. And it's frustrating because he puts himself under pressure, and therefore he puts the defense under pressure because they receive the ball. The team that we're playing against generally like to press. So the press, it makes us difficult to play out from the back. And because of some of the great players we have, we are able to do it. But yeah, we make life hard for ourselves. So Robert Sanchez, I haven't made my decision on the guy. I mean, listen, I think he could still very much play out this season and we could get top four, but some very shaky moments. Moving on, Reece James. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was really good, Reece James. I'll be honest with you. Now, this is from the perspective of, hang on a second, this used to be our best player. And I say used to because you can't exactly say he's our best player when he's never available. Our club captain, or one of the senior players in this squad. And yeah, I didn't expect him to be able to make the minutes count at Liverpool. Yes, he had a few moments where it was difficult, but it's fucking tough at Anfield. It's tough. You got to remember, these guys are human. They are human. We're going to break it down football terms, but also let's try and be realistic. Reece James, after over 300 games, almost a year of never starting a Premier League game, starts away at Anfield. I don't think he was too bad. If I had to give him a rating out of 10, maybe I'd give him a 6.5, a 7. I thought he was okay. I thought he was solid. Yeah, 7.5, man. That's too harsh. 6.5's harsh. So I don't really have any complaints for Reece James. I look at this guy and I'd love to see more of him in a Chelsea shirt. The way that he's going to be managed is probably similar to the way that Lavia's managed, the way that Wesley Fofana's managed. I think Enzo Maresca's actually come out publicly and said that anyway. We don't need to take unnecessary risks with this guy because Gusto could get injured as well at some point. So let's utilize the quality that we have, the depth that we have. I don't even think we have any injuries at the moment, which is fantastic. I mean, what a position to be in. We certainly weren't here last season, and Nkunku was already out, as well as other players, including Reece James. So, yeah, I was happy with what I saw from Reece James. He certainly won't get any minutes against Panathinaikos. He needs a rest, but yeah, I was happy with what I saw from Reece James, honestly. And I don't understand people that want to criticize the decision to start him. I think it worked out quite well. So big up to Maresca for taking the risk. For me, Reece James deserves more credit, and I'm not sure what's happened to my screen. Why is my screen not working? Let's try this again. My screen's not working. I'll get that back in a second. So yeah, Reece James, honestly, what do you think about Reece James in the chat, guys? We're still going on about the goalkeeper. Up the rectangles. Hey, guys, me and Charlie in the car. If you are, I don't know if they sell squares in other countries. Presumably they do. Why are squares rectangles? We were talking about why are they rectangles? What is going on? Are we being conned here? I don't understand it. Is this some sort of marketing manipulation? I don't understand it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, people. Big up to Charlie. They are not squares. It's a rectangle. What's going on? I don't understand it, people. This was our snack in the car. Why are they calling this a square? It is not a square. It is clearly a rectangle. For those of you who are wondering why it's actually called squares, we did look this up. No, it is a rectangle. It is a rectangle. Of course it is. How is that not a rectangle? Hang on a How does that not look like a rectangle? A square means the sides are even. If it's like 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters, that would be a square. It's not. It's I think it's like 9 by 4 or something. In fact, hang on, what does it say? Tell me that looks like a square. That doesn't look like a square. That's a rectangle. This is longer than this. What are you talking about? No, don't take it realist. Axel, I know. I'm just saying the square chocolate, it's not actually, I'm not set to, oh, come on, mate. Right, we're going to move on. Enough of the squares. Right, anyway, back to football. Hayden says James did well considering one lapse in concentration is a given, considering a severe lack of playing time. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think Reece James deserves more credit. I don't understand this whole narrative about I don't understand that. I think that we've got to be patient. Although, listen, if the guy's always injured, let's be honest. Maybe that is a realistic option. I don't know. A lot of Chelsea fans will run out of patience. I mean, how long could you be injured for on £250,000 a week and still justify the money that you earn. Yeah, I know he's probably a presence in the dressing room, but we've got Marcus Bettinelli for that, as well as others. You got to do the work on the pitch. So yeah, for me, Reece James deserves a lot of praise, a lot of credit. I'm happy with what I saw from him. I don't know why the Chelsea website's fucking so annoying. I'll get it back up. Oh, God. Bloody website doesn't want to load. It's really annoying. Well, we'll keep going anyway. What about Levi Colwill, the other centre-back, playing on the left side to start off? He did switch over when Badiashile came on. What do we think about Levi Colwill? He did make a mistake. It cost us the penalty. It's difficult. I watched the replay. I did watch the replay. He has some rash moments, Levi Colwill. But for me, I still look at the guy and I think he's fantastic. I love him. I really love him. I like Colwill. It wasn't his best game. It wasn't his best game. He cost us in a crucial moment, didn't he? Deals is saying 3.5, which I think is quite harsh. But he did cost us a goal, which is ultimately, I mean, you are a defender, aren't you? I think that if you take away that goal, Colwill was fine. He was absolutely fine. And on the ball, he is absolutely key to what we're trying to do. He's so important to this Chelsea side. He's so important. You cannot play the type of football that Enzo Maresca wants to play. You can't play it well without Levi Colwill playing. I just think that Colwill connects everything. You know, he threads those balls through to the midfield, sometimes up top to Jackson. He's brilliant. I love him. So yeah, I really like Colwill, but yeah, he did make the mistake. But I wouldn't get on his case too much. Daniel's saying a 4 out of 10. Oh, it's harsh. Maybe I need to be more harsh, but I don't know. I wouldn't say he was terrible. I wouldn't say he was terrible. I think defensively he could have done a lot better. But on the ball, I really like what I see from the guy. And he's also a player that Cucurella wasn't on the pitch, right? And he's usually one of the players, especially defensively, who raises that tempo. He creates the tempo. And I think that Colwill was doing that at Anfield, certainly matching the tempo that Liverpool were doing. I mean, there was a big fight. There was a fighting spirit throughout this team. Say what you want. This team put in a shift, guys. We gave 110%. It just didn't work out. Colwill's 21, so can't put much on him. He should improve a lot still. I think that, yeah, I think we're being a little bit harsh on Colwill. So maybe just ease off ever so slightly. I really like Colwill. I don't think that he deserves the criticism. I don't think he deserves too much criticism. Let's be honest. I think yeah, big up to Colwill. I'm not going to hate on him. It wasn't his best game. Let's leave it at that. I'll let the panel show. If they want to rip him to shreds in the call show, then they can do that, but I'm not going to. Tosin played next to Levi Colwill. Dear, oh dear. What do we give Tosin? Now, from what I was speaking about with everyone in the stadium, he seems to be the one player everyone can agree he was the worst player on the pitch. And I can agree with that as well. Well, this is what I was saying, Mel. I don't think he was that bad. I don't think Colwill was that bad. But, you know, everyone's got their own opinion. We certainly didn't lack the intensity. I don't know if I agree with that. I think the intensity was good. I think that we just made silly mistakes. I think that was. I wouldn't agree with that, Hugh, to be honest with you. But yeah, Well, you say that, Deals. You say Tosin looked comfortable passing. Maybe he was too comfortable. I think that this was actually part of the issue. And I'll just reiterate it very quickly. Enzo Maresca, throughout the match, was pointing at Tosin. You go here, you're in the wrong place. He wasn't doing it to the other players. I didn't see him do it that much, but I saw him talking to Tosin throughout the match. And I think positionally, Enzo Maresca wasn't happy with what he was seeing. And I think on the ball, he was too comfortable, Deals. That was the issue. I don't want you to be comfortable. Take the touch, pass the ball. Quick. It's fast. You've got to be quick. Liverpool weren't pressing that hard. If they were pressing, then yes, he probably would have just got rid of it quicker, but you have to when you get pressed. But also, if you're competing against a team who sit a little bit more, you've got to pass quickly to get around that. Otherwise, they just adjust. You pass, they adjust again. It's easy. It's easy to defend against. And that's why we didn't create as many chances as we wanted to. Cole Palmer was isolated in this game. He was isolated. He was... it wasn't like what we want to see from Cole Palmer. It wasn't good enough by his standards. And that's not to say that Palmer was terrible, but by his standards, he was. By Cole Palmer standards, they're up here. So, yeah, I mean, he was still a threat. He was still involved, but we needed to get that ball around quicker. It was just too slow. The way we passed it around was... It was too slow. There were times where we passed it well. I'm not saying that it was bad the whole time. Certainly wasn't. But yeah, we could have certainly done better. I think that Enzo Maresca, he was generally quite happy with the performance, as am I. But we can do better. We can do better, and we will do better. Look at where we were last season. Bloody 4-1. And we lost 2-1. I mean, it's not... there's no improvement on points, but it's black and white in terms of the performance. Black and white. You literally can't... You cannot compare them. Right, I've got my screen back. Hallelujah. So, yeah, so we've spoken about... We've spoken about Levi Colwill. Tosin, passes the ball too slow. He was poor. Really, really not impressed with Tosin. If he was trying to make a case to get into this team, it didn't work. It did not work. And yeah, he was replaced by Badiashile. I think that everyone was thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? Bringing on Badiashile. Like, I don't hide the fact that I hated Badiashile after the stupid mistakes in pre-season. How bad was that guy in pre-season? He was rubbish. That goal we conceded against Real Madrid was nothing short of criminal. Criminal activities against Real Madrid in pre-season when we conceded that goal. But yeah, he was great. He was really, really good. I was so happy to see him play well, and everything that he did well was what Tosin couldn't do. His positioning was good. He did well in the duels. He had Darwin Núñez in his pocket. I don't know what Darwin Núñez was doing, diving on the floor. I mean, I don't even think Badiashile really touched him, and he just fell down, didn't he? And then if you look really closely, I think he closed his eyes when he fell down. So he was joking, Darwin Núñez. But yeah, he had nothing on Badiashile in this game. And I think that Badiashile did a very, very good job of making a case to actually get back into this team. And you have to respect Maresca for giving Badiashile the chance to come back and prove that he still has something. Because when he first come in, I think Liverpool was one of his first games under Graham Potter. He was great. He was fantastic. He was one of our best players in a poor season. But yeah, Badiashile for me, Maybe he gets some minutes on Thursday against Panathinaikos. Maybe that's the solution. So I'll be interested to see how we go about that. Really, really happy with Badiashile though. So big up to him. Malagusto. Very mixed opinions on Malagusto. Some people think he was struggling. He wasn't great. Others think he was okay. Now, me personally, I don't think Gusto was that bad. I do think that he struggled a little bit inverting and being on that left-hand side. But I think that he handled the role quite well. I don't think it was as bad as people were saying. Gusto was okay. He was fine. He was making runs. He was trying to link up with Sancho when Sancho was still on the pitch. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because when you make the run, you are immediately crossing with your left foot, not your right foot. So you're forced to either cross a ball with your weak foot, which is never going to be as good, or you then have to cut inside and it's easier to defend. I don't think Gusto was that bad. I think he was all right. He was okay. If I had to look at another player apart from Tosin and say, right, he's probably the next player that didn't create an impact, Gusto probably in my top three. Yeah, I'd say Tosin, Gusto, and maybe Sancho. I don't think Sancho was great. He just didn't really make an impact. And I think there were moments where Madueke is great at this, right? He just grabs the game by the scruff of the neck at times and says, right, I'm doing this. And he'll give the ball away or he won't give the ball away. And I think at times I want to see Sancho do more of that and look to just go on his own. Yeah, I love the fact that he's unselfish and he really complements our front line because he's a total opposite to Madueke. So it does even things out. You've got a nice balance. But I wanted to see a little bit more from Sancho. And yeah, I think that this is maybe it's time for Sancho to have a little rest. I'm not sure. I've heard from Man United fans, because I didn't watch a lot of Sancho at Man United, to be totally honest with you. But I heard that after a while, he just gets a little bit comfortable. His performances start to drop. So maybe that is an element of it. But yeah, I don't want to overthink it too much. I just think that Sancho struggled. He needs to take a little bit more responsibility. Romeo Lavia. Wow. What a player. What a player. I said it. Everyone ridiculed me. I'm going to get the clip. Everyone said, Alex, you don't know what you're talking about. You do not understand what you're saying. Really? I'm going to backtrack here. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Where's the clip? I'm not here to hate on my own players, by the way. But I am going to say this. And this is true. Yeah. This is the truth. Nothing more than the truth.
Enzo Fernandez. I don't think he was that great. I have to appreciate the passes that Fernandez made. Is a couple of really good passes good enough to warrant a start for Chelsea Football Club? But I think unless you're a number 10, maybe you can get away with it then. But if you're in that midfield position, what do I expect from you? I expect you to win your 50-50s. I expect you to cover a lot of ground. I expect you to initiate the press, block and cover passes, link up the play, make your teammates around you better. I didn't really see it. Is he worth 100 million? No chance.
And the point of that was never to say, right, I hate Enzo Fernandez. That was never the point. The point is, Lavia's just better. He's better. I've been saying this. It's how can you not see it? Lavia is here. Fernandez is not, he's not there. He's not there. You tell me what Enzo Fernandez can do that Lavia can't. And I'll tell you, there's one answer. Maybe two. Really one. He's a better passer of the ball. I'll give you that. He is a better passer of the ball than Lavia. What else is he better at? What else does Enzo Fernandez bring to the table that Lavia can't do? That's the reality. That is the reality. Honestly. And that is I don't understand why so many people disagree with that. I think that people are starting to realize that actually, oh, hang on a second, maybe he's got a point here. But yeah, Lavia is the dog's bollocks. He's the dog's bollocks. If you look at what Lavia brings to the table, you keep that man fit, arguably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. 100%. Clear. Fit Lavia is clear of Enzo Fernandez. It's not hate. It's not hate. I like Enzo Fernandez. Just because someone should start ahead of someone else doesn't mean I hate Enzo Fernandez. I like him. Do I think he's great? No. I still like him. Guess what? I like Dewsbury Hall. He shouldn't start. So, I hate to say I told you so, but I did say it. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. I appreciate it. Big up to you, my friend. Lavia was good shit. Caicedo was good shit. Lavia, good shit. Absolutely, my friend. A lot of shit. Very good shit. We finally saw what Lavia is all about. We saw it in preseason. He's so good, man. He's so good. Oh, my God. Just thinking about it. Oh, what a player. And listen, we can still utilize Enzo Fernandez. There's no reason for us not to utilize a £100 million player. But you have to understand that we paid a lot of money for Mudryk, but he doesn't start every week. Yeah. Sometimes you just make investments that are inflated and they're really just not worth the money that you paid. At the time, Enzo Fernandez, we really needed a player like that when we brought him in because we sold Jorginho. So he was a direct replacement for Jorginho. But where does he fit into this squad? If you look at the Premier League squad, where does he fit in? I don't think that Fernandez makes the Premier League squad. I think that actually, if you're being totally honest with yourself, he's probably going to be playing on Thursday nights. And I want to see him play in his natural position as a 6. That's what I want to see Enzo Fernandez doing. And I think we will see the best of him when he plays in that position. So also it's on the manager, right? Don't squeeze a player in just for the sake of it. England did that years ago. We had Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, bloody Beckham as well. And you try and fit them all in. No chemistry. And you're playing players in the wrong position and you wonder why they're not playing as well as they should be. Yes, the player would be nice if they were a little bit versatile. That'd be great, but it's not easy to play at other positions, especially when you've been playing in a similar position your whole career. So give Enzo Fernandez the platform to play the way he wants to play, and I'm sure he'll be better. But it's difficult. He's not going to start ahead of Lavia. He's not going to start ahead of Caicedo because he lacks defensively. On the ball, he's great, but defensively, he just doesn't have enough quality defensively. But yeah, for me, Lavia, wow. While he was on the pitch, 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 if he could do it for 90 minutes. How about that? Yeah, leave some room for improvement. Give me 90 minutes, Lavia, and then you can have a 10. Really, really impressed with what I saw from him. Just a solid player. Such a good player. How satisfying as well was it knowing that we played Liverpool at Anfield and we started Caicedo and Lavia in the midfield. 2 players that they both wanted. That is satisfying as hell, man. I would have loved a Caicedo banger or a Lavia goal at some point. Yeah. Lavia, he's totally press resistant, right? And that actually, having a player like him, it also makes life easier for Robert Sanchez as well, yeah, because he has a go-to player to give the ball to from the back. And even if the ball's a little bit slow or whatever, you've got a player who's so good, he can still do something with it. And I think that we just didn't have that with Fernandez. So hopefully Fernandez can get back to his best. But I do think that Lavia is Lavia's the man as it stands. He is the man. So yeah, big up to Lavia. I'm a huge fan of what I've seen, and he should be starting week in, week out for Chelsea when fully fit and available. This is no longer a conversation. Listen, just keep the man fit. Keep the man fit, and we've got a player who's going to rock the Premier League. Absolutely sensational. Well done, Romeo Lavia. Yeah, Fernandez did come on. He didn't make an impact, though, did he? He didn't make an impact. Yeah, just average when Fernandez came on. It's not like he, I had this debate with Charlie and Scott the other day about Nkunku. And Charlie said to me, he said, I don't think that Nkunku was shown enough in the Premier League to have any starts. And I went, well, hang on a second. The guy only gets about 5 minutes off the bench when he comes on, or 10 minutes, whatever it is. He doesn't get a long time. I think he had a little bit more against Liverpool, but this was before Liverpool. We had this conversation. He scored the winner against Bournemouth. He scored a hat-trick in a cup game. He's scoring goals for fun when he's playing. He scored for France in the internationals. Why is he getting called up for France if he's not good enough? So the point being that Nkunku, even when he does come on, I think a lot of the time he is a dangerous player who makes an impact, right? And we saw that away at Bournemouth. He won us that game when Jackson couldn't. But Fernandez had practically a full 45 if you include added time, and just didn't have enough. But also, I think he was utilized the wrong way. You had Enzo Fernandez trying to make runs into the box like a number 8. He is not a number 8. He's certainly not a number 10. And that is a managerial, tactical problem, because we are utilizing a player in the wrong position. Enzo Fernandez is not an 8. He's certainly not a 10. He's a 6. He is a 6. So if you bring Enzo Fernandez on and you take him off for Lavia, what you actually should be doing is giving Caicedo the freedom to run up and down. Because, yes, I know that you won't necessarily have as much cover defensively, but you do know that Caicedo can still chop it up in midfield, win the ball back as an 8. Maybe that's by pressing or 50-50s, whatever it is. He's creative enough to pass the ball forward, which is another reason why I'm not that bothered about dropping Enzo Fernandez. We have enough creativity without him. Lavia gets the ball, finds a way to pass forward. Caicedo finds a way to pass the ball forward. Yeah? People say we lack creativity. Okay. Imagine that Caicedo and Lavia didn't pass the ball forward that much. Let's just say that. We've still got so much creativity up top. So much. Not to mention you've got Levi Colwill, who's great at linking up the play from the back. You've got Cole Palmer the most creative player in the league at the moment. Absolute star boy. Jadon Sancho has got an assist every other game for Chelsea. And Jackson and Madueke have been pretty good this season. So we don't lack creativity. We have creativity with or without Enzo Fernandez. If you want extra creativity, I guess you could make an argument for Fernandez because he is still a better passer than Caicedo and Lavia. We don't dispute that. What we dispute is every other aspect of his game. Why do you play in midfield? Yeah. Why do you play in midfield and you're not a right back or you're not a centre back or you're not a striker? Because you're supposed to be good at everything. That's literally what a midfielder is supposed to do. They're supposed to do a little bit of everything. And of course, some midfielders are better defensively. Some midfielders are better on the ball. Yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have specialties. But you've got to be able to do the basics well. And I think that Enzo Fernandez just struggles with the basics at times. And that is why Chelsea struggled when he plays, because we are compensating off the ball for a player who's just not good enough defensively. Right, let's move on. Renato Veiga. What do we make about Renato Veiga's performance, guys? He came on for Reece James. He went on the left side and then we moved Gusto onto the right. I thought Veiga was going to start this game. I was pretty confident that he would start. What do we make of it, guys? I think that Veiga was okay. I think he was okay. He did get caught out once or twice against Salah. I don't think he had an amazing impact, but I think he was all right. I think he was decent. For me, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was okay. Maybe a 6 out of 10. But one thing I like about Veiga as well is he did pass the ball forward. He did look to get the ball up the pitch and link up with Neto at times as well. And we're going to talk about Neto as well. I think that Renato Veiga deserves a lot more credit since he's been at Chelsea. And he's a different player to Azpilicueta, isn't he? But nobody ever heard of Azpilicueta when we signed him from Marseille. And nobody heard of Renato Veiga. And we got them both on the cheap. Very cheap deals, bargains. It's going to prove to be a very useful player for us, isn't he? So, yeah. Hugh says, we didn't show our best yesterday. That's what annoys me. No, we weren't our best, but we were decent. Like, as a team performance, I think we were decent. I mean, I give that team performance, what? 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. On the ball. I mean, defensively, we were a little bit suspect at times, but it was all right, man. I mean, I think that we've got to take more from it. And just look at it and compare it to last season. Much more promising. You can see what we're trying to do. It was a little bit harder last season to see that. Veiga wasn't bad. Veiga is like a young Rudiger, still rough, but an enforcer in the maker. Do you agree with that, guys? Do you agree with Hayim? Right, let's move on. Noni Madueke. I think we all knew that Madueke would start this game. I did think that there was an argument for Neto because even with the minutes that he's had, and you could say that Neto hasn't necessarily been as great in terms of the build-up play, other aspects. He scored against Barrow. He scored against Ghent as well. It was a great goal against Ghent. So I thought there was definitely an argument to be made about Neto starting this game. But Noni was good. I think Noni was good. He was aggressive. He was what I wanted him to be. He did not shy away from this match. He was looking to take players on. He was looking to try and whip balls in. But at the same time, we built up the way we always build up. And that was to try and break Liverpool down decent amount of passes. And Madueke created a few chances for us. He did create a few chances. I don't remember him he had one goal-scoring chance, one opportunity. He had a volley on his right foot, which went straight at the keeper. That was it. But I think in terms of this game, Madueke was more of a creator, and he did create. Not as much as maybe I would have hoped, but I was happy with what I saw from Madueke. He was all right. So for me, no real complaints from him. I know Nkunku was the player that was subbed on for him, but really I think the battle is between him and Neto for that starting spot on the right-hand side. But actually, Neto came on and switched and come onto the left as well at times. So he was almost on both sides. I'm not sure if that was something that he was told by Maresca, but Neto came on and was unbelievable. I mean, for me, Neto had the best impact out of all of the players on the pitch. Neto was just superb, absolutely brilliant. And the way he took players on, no fear. Yes, okay, you're going to miss one or two opportunities. You might get tackled. I mean, let's not act like we're against the bad back line here. We're against Van Dijk, Konate Robertson, and Alexander-Arnold. It's a pretty decent defence. But yeah, Neto was the standout impact player. And he was a good replacement for Sanchez, a direct upgrade. He was great, wasn't he? He was just great. And he could have easily scored a goal. He created the chance right at the end where I think it was Gusto who had the shot, or Palmer. And then the ball was blocked by one of the Liverpool defenders right at the end. Neto deserves a start for me. I'd definitely start him against Panathinaikos. I start him. I mean, unless you want to start Mudryk and then look to give Neto some minutes against Newcastle, because we have to be very careful. Although we have so much quality in this team, you do look at some of the players. Neto is one of them. Nkunku is another one. Lavia, James. These are players who can get injured very easily. So I don't want to push the boundaries with what I can get here. I would like to see, I'd like to see a sensible approach in terms of how we play those players. But I want to see Neto get more minutes. He deserved it before, in my opinion, just because of the fact that he was able to get on the score sheet. I think ultimately people are looking at end product. But although he didn't get on the score sheet this time, he was the best player, the best attacker on the pitch when he came on, and he made a great impact. So big up to Neto. Madueke was okay, though. No real complaints with Madueke. Nkunku came on. He was put on the wing. So you're not going to get the best out of Nkunku when he's out wide. You will get the best out of this particular player when he's in behind the striker, or when he is a striker. You need Nkunku in the box. So I thought we would shift Palmer onto the right-hand side and Nkunku would come in and Neto would switch or whatever. That didn't happen. So Nkunku didn't make much of an impact, to be honest. He won one or two fouls. He linked up a little bit. He was picking out passes for Neto, who was making runs in behind. Nkunku didn't really make much of an impact, but I don't blame that on him. I think that the position he was playing in was the wrong one. Caicedo. Fantastic. Sensational. What a player. What a machine. Oh, yes. Love Caicedo. Love him. I hope he doesn't play against Panathinaikos. I think he deserves a rest because he's just running all over the pitch and he's doing the dirty work. He's doing everything that you want a midfield player in that position to do. And again, He has a little bit of creativity. So I think you can get away with not having Enzo Fernandez there for that reason exactly. Otherwise, Caicedo is just running all over the shop. He's not got any help in midfield defensively. But yeah, really, really good. I thought he was solid. He's just solid. I don't really have a bad word to say about Caicedo. So yeah, big up to Caicedo. I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat as well about Caicedo. Do you think he was better than Lavia? Or do you think Lavia was better? Because they were both very good. In fairness, they were both very good. Obviously, Lavia is not in the Conference League squad. I think Caicedo can play in the Conference League, but I don't want to see him play on Thursday. I honestly don't think it's a bad thing if Fernandez starts in that role as a 6, and then maybe have Dewsbury Hall playing in the 8, because Dewsbury Hall's looked better and better when I've seen him. I think the past 2 games I've seen Dewsbury Hall start. He started off a little bit shaky and then grew into the game, and obviously got his goal against Ghent as well. So maybe that would be worth seeing. Second half, outstanding for Caicedo. Caicedo and Lavia need to start more in the Premier League together. Daniel, I completely agree with you, my friend. Why didn't Felix come in? Who knows? Who knows? You've got to remember, though, if Felix comes in, you probably don't see Nkunku. But then I guess Felix is quite versatile as well. He could have played on the wing. There's an argument to be made about that. The only issue with Felix, I think he's sometimes a bit sloppy, gives the ball away. And in Nkunku, you don't have that problem as much. And maybe that was part of the reasoning behind that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Moises Caicedo was absolutely solid. Him and Lavia, I don't have a hat, but if I did, I'd take my hat off to both of them. I think they were both very good. Nicholas Jackson. Wow. 8 games. 8 GA. I don't think it's 8 goals, but it's 8 GA. Goals and assists. Nicholas Jackson's stats. Let's have a look. Let's see what's the stats saying for Nicholas Jackson. What a name. Premier League. 8 men's team appearances. 8 starts. 5 goals. And does it have the assists? Where's the assists? 3 assists. There you go. 5 goals and 3 assists for Nicholas Jackson. Hey, listen, man. They didn't want us to celebrate that goal, but fair play. He held the offside line. He held his run well. That's not easy. Do you not remember Morata, Werner, Havertz? All of these players who were they were permanently offside. So well done, Nicholas Jackson. That could have been very different. They blew their whistle quickly after that goal, didn't they, the referee, John Brooke? It's almost like they wanted it to be offside, but it wasn't. It was clear and obvious. That was a good goal. Inside post as well. I thought it might have even gone across the keeper. Yeah, I mean, you can understand why he's starting ahead of Nkunku for that reason. So I don't have a big issue with it, but I do think Nkunku, if he would have come on, I probably would have done it for Nicholas Jackson, to be totally honest with you. But there you go, each to their own. Yeah, but Jackson's doing a good job. I'm happy with what I'm seeing from Jackson. All right, we'll finish off with Jadon Sancho and then Cole Palmer. And then I've got a little something to show you as well if you haven't seen it already. Cole Palmer. It was average, wasn't it? It was pretty standard by his by the levels that he has tried to set for himself. It was pretty average. Big up to Shaggy, by the way. My friend from Saudi Arabia. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think that Cole Palmer has set this precedent, hasn't he? He even said just before the game, he had an interview and he said, I think that I can win the Ballon d'Or. I mean, if that's not confidence, I don't know what is. If that's not cold, I don't know what is. But yeah, Liverpool fans making a few jokes on social media yesterday saying he was a little bit cold. So we thought we'd warm him up a little bit. In that case, I guess he was warm because yeah, he didn't really do too much. He was kept out of the game by Liverpool. They defended him well. The great thing about when you are out wide is that it's harder to mark a player who's out wide, isn't it? Because you're not going to put 3 players out wide, then you're isolated in the middle. Whereas if he's in the 10, you can have a number of players doing a job on him. You've got your 2 centre-backs who are obviously aware. You've got your midfielders as well. So he has less space to operate in, and it's slightly harder for him to get into those positions when he is being man-marked and then when he has a lot of players all over him. But that's when you need other players to step up, and obviously Jackson did that. But I do think that Palmer could have done a little bit better, and I think that he probably could have got a goal. By his standards, I think that Cole Palmer could have done a little bit more. So it was an underwhelming performance from him, but certainly not career-defining. I'm sure he's probably going to bounce back and score in the next game, which shouldn't surprise anyone, really, because he is world-class. He's absolutely brilliant. And listen, everybody has games where they don't necessarily compete to their best ability. It happened to Erling Haaland. It happens to the best of them. This just happened to be Palmer's off day. It is what it is. And then we'll finish off with Jadon Sancho, he's been really good. But I did think to myself, and I can't believe Mudryk wasn't in the squad for this game. I haven't even checked why he wasn't in the squad. Maybe there was an issue that I wasn't aware of. But, I mean, Mudryk's pace would have been good in this game. But, again, Liverpool did sit a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen Jadon Sancho take on his man. I would have liked to have seen him try and do a little bit more on his own. This system suits Sancho really well because it's all about link-up, technical players working together, utilising that extra quality through playing the way that Maresca wants to play. But we need players around Sancho to make runs, and if he can't find them on those runs, that's when you need to just go in on your own, my friend, and have a crack. I don't even know if I've seen Sancho shoot since he's been at Chelsea. Like, I don't remember a keeper making a save because of a Sancho shot. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it doesn't jump at me that there's been a chance. Yeah, I mean, I would have had Mudryk on the bench. I don't know why he wasn't on the bench. Don't I think Enzo, Fernandez, and... Oh, for a second, I thought you... I thought you wrote KDB. I thought you wrote Kevin De Bruyne. I was thinking, what? Yeah, I think Enzo Fernandez and Dewsbury Hall. That's literally what I would do on Thursday against Panathinaikos. I would play with that pair. So yeah, that doesn't change. That doesn't change for me. We completely agree in that sense. But yeah, Sancho had a quiet game. He wasn't great. Let's be honest. And it was the right decision to hook him at half time because look at what impact Pedro Neto made. He was a direct replacement. It was much better. Jason says Sancho slows it down and brings players in, which is great. But with teams like Liverpool with a great structure, different story. Why do you think that is, though, Jason? Do you think that Sancho is more of a player that we need specifically against the teams who aren't as aggressive when they defend? What is it about Sancho that wouldn't work against a team like Liverpool or doesn't work? Because obviously didn't. There was a penalty appeal. I haven't even seen the replay, to be honest with you. So I need to check that out again. But yeah, so that is my sort of overview on the players that I saw. And yeah, I think ultimately we have to hold our head high as Chelsea fans. We have to look up and say, you know what? it wasn't that bad, was it? We were all right. And I look at it and I think this was way better than last season. Way better. The only thing that you give Poch a lot of credit for in terms of if you look at the teams we play against, we always played well against big teams, generally speaking. We were quite good against big teams. We didn't have a great time at Anfield. We didn't have a great time at Old Trafford. But apart from that, I think we were okay. Just trying to think if there was any others. Yeah, I mean, in the big games, we were pretty good under Poch. But we just lacked some structure in key moments at times. And I didn't understand, what is the game plan here? Are we sitting deep? Are we looking to play out? Like, what is the plan? And I could see a clear direction with the way we wanted to play under Enzo Maresca in this game. So big up to Enzo Maresca. If we're going to talk about Enzo Maresca as well, every single substitution he made, except for Enzo Fernandez, was a good substitution. Every single substitution he made. He took off Reece James. He brought on Veiga. And I don't think that was a bad thing. I think that was okay. I think Veiga was all right. You got to remember as well, it wouldn't have been tactical why Reece James come off. It was physical. It was because he's been out for so long, you can't give him that many minutes. So you can't look at that particular substitution and say it's tactical. But listen, it still worked. Lavia come off for Fernandez, which obviously didn't work. That wasn't an improvement. But again, that wasn't tactical. That's because we know that Lavia needs to ease his way into the squad. And, yeah, I mean, you can't play 90 minutes straight away when you're coming back from an injury. So I completely appreciate that. But Fernandez wasn't good. One of the great substitutions was Tosin for Badiashile, which was totally different. Badiashile looked fantastic when he came on. It was brilliant. So Maresca, he obviously saw something that we couldn't see, and still has the faith in Badiashile, which I'm sure our recruitment team is very happy about, because they spent all these money on Badiashile and Disasi. Disasi's certainly not getting into our squad, but Badiashile, maybe there is a chance for him to come back. Come on, Alex. Oh, sorry, I'm tired. Madueke for Nkunku. I'm not going to say that was an improvement. I would have liked to have seen Nkunku central and then push Palmer out wide. That's maybe something I would have done different. And then Sancho for Neto was another great substitution. So, yeah, very, very happy with the substitutions that he made. Passionate on the touchline. He was giving it large. Yeah, big up to Enzo Maresca. Honestly, I'm very happy with what I've seen from Enzo Maresca. And long may it continue. I know that we didn't get the result, but we will certainly get the results if we continue playing the way we are playing. And that is a very positive sign. I'm happy to hear that. I'm going to quickly show you. I'm going to show you a little segment from the vlog, because the last 2 minutes against Liverpool, that atmosphere was incredible. That was unbelievable. I have never heard a stadium so loud at the end of a game in terms of the whistling like I did at Anfield. Let's just have a watch, because I feel like I need to share it with you. It's just brilliant. Is it on full screen? Yeah. What's wrong with this internet? My internet's on. Hang on a second. Why does the referee blow his whistle there? Why? What's going on? Gusto literally won the 50-50 and you blew the whistle. This is why you can't celebrate any referees in modern day Premier League football, because they're all crap. They're all rubbish. But how amazing is that sound, guys? How cool is that sound? Like, honestly, I'm addicted to it. Like, just listen. Listen to that noise. It's incredible. I love it. So yeah, I think the atmosphere was unbelievable. I think it was brilliant, and that is a sign of respect for Chelsea, guys. We have to take that as a compliment. Teams don't do that unless they think that you're good. So Liverpool clearly respect us in that sense, because otherwise it would have been silent, because they would have known it would have been a walk in the park. But we ended up doing a job on them. We didn't do enough. We didn't do a job on them. They got us in the end. But listen, guys, that was my morning. The morning after Chelsea lost to Liverpool. Hope you enjoyed the show. There will be another show later. We're gonna have a little panel show around lunchtime in the UK. But yeah, hope you're all doing well, guys. If you did enjoy the show, leave a thumbs up on the video. It does really help. I don't know how many likes we're on. Can we get up to a couple of 100 likes? That would be nice. If we're on less than 100, can we get up to 100? I'm not sure what we're on. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will catch up very, very soon.